All right. Good morning, YouTube. Hope everybody's doing good and joins us this morning. Hope everybody got out of the chat last night on time that may be joining us this morning. See what's going on. Last night we had a pretty long chat. Started off talking about the Trump military expansion and dictator-like behavior, and devolved into guns and butchering pigs. So what can we do? It was a good one. But let's get to some news as soon as we can here. Up on your screen right now. If you missed it last night, yesterday afternoon, really, large earthquake in Taiwan. There was a really good video that came around Twitter. It was like 30 minutes long. A guy pulling up with a video of this building from the distance in the dark, because it was at night, China time, when it happened, right? And I wish I could understand Japanese Chinese. Wish I could understand Chinese to really get a picture of what he was saying, because I'm sure there had to be some expletives in there somewhere, but it was all Chinese, and you're just like, well, okay, he sounds pretty calm. Sounds, relatively under control. But that was interesting. Lots of stories out there about this Taiwan earthquake. There's 6 people reported killed at this point. Anybody that's been following, but the key I wanted to talk about was that it was a 6.4 magnitude, and we've talked about this before. The magnitude is kind of deceiving in the damage that can be done, because you always think of the big 7.5s or something you're going to see in California, where this one was 6.4. The buildings falling over. It's not like, I wouldn't say Taiwan has a extremely poor building construction, and they're fairly well off modern country, but it depends on the depth within the Earth's crust, to where that earthquake occurs, how the waves propagate through the soils and stuff. Of course, relative distance to the epicenter, determining how that damage occurs and whatnot. You can see some large rifts here in concrete and stuff. Several inches up to a foot, it looks like, in that right corner one there. But that's the most significant image that came out of that. So again, talking about your immediate SHTF plan, your immediate bug out plan, your immediate having to enact your plans event. Earthquake is it. Out of nowhere. No weather forecaster, no prediction, no early warning. It happens, and it's upon you. Now, there have been several stories over the years of scientists working on a warning system that detects somehow, but at this point, we are where we are. So again, thanks for joining us, everybody. Got in the side chat, Barry Wood, M Long 5151, Rachel M. Good morning from Florida. Hey, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the quick news flash, if you want to call it that. We kind of just throw up some off the radar subjects to bring up to people. Totally at my random will, of course, but bring up anything in the side chat that you feel relevant, that might be interesting to the chat in general, that may be happening in your area. And this is all on the Weather Channel. And while we're there, there's another picture of that hotel that is much more dramatic in the viewpoint. And Rachel, we're coming out of Nevada, if you're wondering. So it's a little bit earlier in the morning for us before our day gets started. But the weather continues for you guys out east to stealing all our water. We are dry to the bone. You guys are getting hammered week after week. And today's image is is definitely no different. It looks the whole Northeast, Pennsylvania is swallowed. I would imagine we won't have any Pennsylvania viewers on the day. They're going to be all out digging out snow and such. Rain all the way down through Houston. The article up earlier on the Weather Channel is snow from Montana to Maine for coming up. I don't know why it doesn't say California to Maine, but that's a separate subject. We need the snow. Prolonged snow threat. Just going to linger about, just recharge and re-energize and hit you again. So what we got last year looks like everybody out there is getting this year, because that's what we had going down this time last year. We just kept getting pounded week after week, storm after storm. It was a good time until the flooding started. Yeah, so they're calling more late week snow, as you can see, from Montana all the way across. Winter alerts, etc., all the way over to. So it'll be good times. Bring it. Make sure you got your snow shovel sharpened and your snow melt restocked. Whatever it is you do to avoid trip and fall. Hey, good morning, Barry. James McIntyre's with us. Yeah, clear in 55. Yeah, thanks, James, rubbing it in. I was just complaining about how we don't have any water or snow. You guys are used to it less than we are, but we need some in the mountains. Top story on Zero Hedge: Obama was in on the FBI. Well, how would he not be in on the spying? Would be the question. Protecting his own little regime. Obviously, he appointed the people that were doing it, so that only makes sense that he would be in on it. But thanks for sharing. And Barry wore out your snow shovel last year. Yeah, out here, Barry, we got so much snow. You know how it was out west last year. Snow shovel got overtime. So be prepared for that if you're in that path, thinking about it, even being in the path. And rain down and everything south of that, it looked like. Hey, while we got everybody here, make sure you're checking out the cards in the top right corner. You might find something else on YouTube you enjoy. Channels I've put up there that I've found over the couple months. A little different variety of flavor of stuff. So no, not necessarily doomsday prepper types. So don't get your expectations up. So the markets have been going on a wild roller coaster the last couple of days. Obviously, we had the 1,000-point plus Friday and Monday. Now that it's hump day, this is old Tuesday. So they're saying the Dow may open in another triple-digit drop. Yesterday was crazy, up and down 500 points. It finished in the green, and bonds are back above 2.8, which were kind of the reason that was proposed that the market did what it did. But bonds haven't really taken a step back, and the Fed chair hasn't acted, which the new Fed chair that came in Monday is in a pickle. And I don't know that he's ready to take action on that. Wes S., thanks for joining us. You don't need a path? I'm pretty sure you know the path. You don't need to dig one. You don't need to dig a path because where you're at, but it's all good. Refresh that real quick. That's not coming up right. Oh, and they're positive, and we're off. So just checking in over here, we were talking a lot about how bonds were affecting the market just below 2.8. But the new Fed chair is the one that they're expecting to make some decisions to see how this goes. Is it does the I don't for some reason Wes S. I just don't see the Dow affecting your lifestyle much, which is what I've been trying to recommend. It shouldn't affect your lifestyle much, but if you feel it's a downer, that's all right. Yeah, the least amount that the Dow and the stock markets can have on your life, the better. Oil's still below $65, which is good. It's kind of mellow out there. We don't need it to be going up to 75 or anything like crazy like that. The gas prices this summer are going to be painful enough without extreme pain. Let me see if I can pull up that zero hedge. We were talking about there. Pull that over since it was brought up. Oh, the two FBI agents' text revealed the complicity of Obama. Well, after 50,000 texts, you'd think they would find something of significance. Although that's just rumor and speculation. They still got to prove that. What's put out in text message isn't certified provable in court unless you're one of us peons, and they'll hammer you for one text message probably. So that's right there in the front, just like you said, M Long. And they said to each other, POTUS wants to know everything we're doing. Figure I need to. Can't believe you would even joke about that, but it just goes to show you how they just disregard any notion of right and wrong. Well, so FBI has been so used to doing the wrong thing at the wrong time that it's become second nature. Here's a good article. So talking about the financials, Deutsche Bank. The last 36 hours are a dress rehearsal for when the bear market hits. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it'll be a fun time when that day comes around. So some good articles there on the zero hedge. Bitcoin had a big jump up this morning. I saw people were all excited. Oh, it's recovering as it was down to 6,000. Talk about Bitcoin. So yes, 2,000 in just over a day. So since yesterday, 2,000 to the good. Everybody's happy. And it's coinciding with the stock market, and it's doing the same type of action as the stock market. Like, don't you see what's going on? Bitcoin can only have that big a jump when you got big money getting into it. Why is big money getting into it? So they can dump it later to profit off of it. And that's about it there. Let's jump over to some news side about halfway through here. See what we can keep up with. We had a real long chat about the dictator-like behavior of the president asking for a military parade, which will probably cost us millions, and that the Defense Department can't keep track of $800 million. Why would we give them an extra $200 billion in the budget this year for their malfeasance? That was some good discussion. So if you want to talk about that, you can go check out the chat from last night. That was a long, drawn out, good time. there is the short-term spending bill that's coming up this week that passed the House last night, which I don't see it linked here. Drudge, I didn't see it over on Zero, or the CNBC didn't have a link either. Figured somebody would have a link to that. House passed a temporary resolution to fund the government through March, so we get another month of chaos and get to do this all again next month, where they whine and complain about DACA and people's funding priorities and complain about how their pet projects aren't getting funded. And the end of the world is coming, and we're all going to die if we don't pass this. That's what happens every single time, it seems like. And I don't see it. Where would that be? Now I got to go digging. Yeah, Wes, it's all just ones and zeros, really. There's very little physical dollars even out there, so. It's all getting made up on computers as we speak, it seems like. So as I dig up an article on that. Yeah, is that what it really was, James? We'll see if it's his own. Is it just his own ego, or is it a distraction from something else? I don't think it's either one of the two. He's taken. Well, and the thing is, the statement was the order was given back in January, so it's not like anything current is the issue. It's something that happened back in January, and that's when North Korea was big. So it would kind of make sense that that was a discussion about putting North Korea in check and how to do that. But when Kelly's talking about doing it for Veterans Day, so they're trying to get in the most appropriate venue to do something like that, it loses kind of some of its impact, I guess you will. So, having a military parade on Veterans Day is no big deal. So it loses kind of some of that swag to it. But we'll see. Hopefully it's just a talking point and it goes nowhere. I don't think anybody wants to spend $40 million on a parade that every private's going to be like, why am I missing my leave time to go out here on a parade? You've been there. You know the drill. You know how that goes. So on our beloved government spending bill, with defense money in the House that the House passed. Key thing on that defense spending is it's not going to get approved in the Senate. So all this could get held up. So hopefully, if we're really good and we're good this week, the next 2 days, we'll get a government shutdown. And we'll get to go through the whole weekend ripping, tags off of mattresses, going on public lands without permission, all kinds of good stuff. So we can just run rampant. So they've passed a temporary resolution for most funding, but they've passed the full year of defense funding, which I think is only till October. I think that's for this current year. You got to remember that's what they're voting on is the current year. We're still over halfway through, and they're talking about barely funding the government through the rest of this year. So March 23rd, they want to do this all again if this passes, but there's severe resistance in the Senate because of Schumer holding DACA over everybody's head and the contention between the DACA and the wall. So you're super efficient, well-run government at work, all for your benefit, all for with your best interests, right? Maybe not. What else is going out there in the side chat? Anybody got anything going on? Well, yeah, Wes, they do burn through 40 million like it's nothing. They find that's pocket change to them. As we were discussing last night, the Defense Logistic Agency couldn't account for 800 million in construction projects. They had an audit that they went through, and the auditor was like, "Hey, where's your 800 million for these building projects?" And they're like, "I don't know. Hey, thanks for telling us. What's going to happen?" Yeah, exactly. What's going to happen? 800 million. Nobody knows. Yeah, Chucky Schumer's a real winner, isn't he, James? Chucky Schumer's man of the people, right? Oh man. So I hope everybody's enjoying their coffee. Yeah, Wes, they were talking about the last time a military parade was done. They said that it cost $12 million to do that 1991 parade after Desert Storm. So we just rounded up for inflation and figured a nice round 40 million due to fuel costs, all the new equipment they'd probably want to roll out, etc. Everything's much more vehicle centric these days than it was in 91 even. Yeah, Barry, you'd have to say it's wasted resources having a parade like that. You'd have to say it is. Can you not sense my extreme sarcasm, McIntyre? You know, man of the people, garbage. Same thing, right? In political speak. I don't think anybody has any love for Chucky Schumer, but we'll follow that through to run it to ground tomorrow as they continue to get that fired up. Real browse through here real quick, see what kind of thing stands out. Here's a good statement. McConnell says, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. Talking about getting the 60 votes to be able to get past debate on an issue, avoid the filibuster. So, how much can they pay somebody off to vote on the supposed immigration bill, amnesty, etc.? Is how you're going to win, they say. Let's jump out of politics a little bit. Let's try to find something a little more down to earth. Wes S says we could just blow up a small man-made island in South China Sea, Point made. Well, yeah, if you wanted to take out one of China's man-made islands to send a message, you can do that. Or are you talking about sending a message to little Kim? We could take out North Korea in basically the same amount of time it takes to do this chat, and nobody would notice, essentially. We would overwhelm them so fast, it's not even funny. To treat North Korea anything more than the road, just a speed bump in the road, is giving them way too much credit. In my opinion, of course. The Olympics start tomorrow, I believe. Anybody that's following, the Olympics are out there. So, for your viewing pleasure, a bunch of skiing. We can't have any skiing here, apparently. The way things are going here, we'll have to just watch it on the Olympics. See how they do it in South Korea. See if we ever get to see a joining of the Koreas like we did Germany in our lifetime. That'd be a twofer. The anecdotal, if you're rich and got enough money story, the Godfather house from the movie The Godfather is at Lake Tahoe is for sale. And for a cool, what's the amount here? It was in The Godfather Part 2. Pull this over. 3.7 million. It can be yours. So if we all want to pitch in, we could all, like get a room, move in. It's only got 22 residences inside this structure, I guess. Quite impressive. I guess it was in the movie The Godfather, though, way back in the day. Still looks like it's brand new. Well taken care of, I guess you'd say. So doesn't that look like a good time? So I'm taking donations. Anybody wants to pitch in for my new homestead project? We'd have the goats on the couch looking at the fire. It's only 3,700 square feet. It's kind of tiny. I don't know if we can handle that or not. All right, folks, what's going on in the side chat? Everybody going to figure out their way to take out North Korea? Why we're worried about messing with North Korea, I still don't know, but okay. Well, that's true. North Korea is not dependent on the grid, Wes. You're right about that. They don't have a grid. They barely have electricity. They can get by 1850s style, no problem. The people starving doesn't help, but they'd be starving in the dark, kind of the same as they are now. Wouldn't be necessarily a challenge. That's why I'm saying we could take out the head of the snake, no problem, and the people might actually be able to prosper. But I'll continue to emphasize that whatever happens in North Korea is directly because China has allowed it or has asked for it. North Korea is not going to step out of line with China because China will cut them off. As a matter of fact, there was a story yesterday. China was moving 300,000 troops to the border. The border with North Korea up on the Yalu, our infamous river. But yeah, China was moving troops over as a show of force. Who knows what the signal is there? Is it a message to Kim, a message to us? Hard to say. But with the Olympics coming up, it's not to be taken lightly. I don't know where I saw that, but that's something you can look up if you want to follow that trail down. And what that all means is still up for supposition. The Cape Town issue with the water, if you haven't followed from last week, is continuing to pop up in stories. It's getting more serious as they're going to start rationing water in Cape Town, South Africa, as an example of what to expect here. All right, everybody in the side chat's talking about the war we're going to start, nuclear or otherwise. If that's all, I guess we'll wrap it up here for the day. Hope everybody goes to have a good day. Thanks for joining us out there. Be on the lookout for weather if you're anywhere north of say Oklahoma City, west of Denver, east of Denver. It's coming for you. Enjoy your hump day. Thanks for coming, checking the chat out. Check out those cards in the top right corner for some different YouTube channels you may not be aware of, but may enjoy. And so thanks for joining us, Wes S. Ready to snap, just checked in. China being racist, protecting their ethno state. Well, yeah, they don't want infiltrators coming across from the Koreans. They definitely don't have any love for Koreans, as history has shown. Am Long joined us in the side chat. Barry Wood, James McIntyre, getting up nice and early with the rest of us. Thanks for coming in. And Wes was filling up the chat with his propaganda. Barry Wood's with us. And at the beginning, Rachel M. from Florida. Thanks everybody for checking in on the side chat, commenting, putting your 10 cents, nickel, quarter out there, or $50. Whichever, in the case of SS, he gets a $50 to spend, it looks like. But go out, have a good day. Be back here in the morning. Live free.